Welcome to your home for college football this season. The Rombough Show is back for a week 1 prediction after a nice little week 0 appetizer. We saw Farmageddon, Kansas State, Iowa State. It was really sloppy in the first half. Fumbles left and right. I believe 4 lost fumbles in that first half. Iowa State ends up pulling it out in the end. Matt Campbell, a great play call on 4th and short, and was able to secure that victory. That is an interesting race that we will see in the Big 12 this season. Let's get straight into it. We're not going to get the big games just yet, but we will. First off, SEC Big 12 battle, Friday night, tomorrow night, Auburn at Baylor. Baylor home dogs, which you barely see in big Power 4 games. Jackson Arnold coming in for Auburn. Hugh Freeze had a disappointing last season. Hopefully that fan base is just hoping for a better season. Sawyer Robinson and the Baylor Bears had a great finish to last season after a shaky start. They are returning 4 of their offensive linemen on a 6-game winning streak before the bowl loss last year to LSU. Auburn turnover margin last year, they had -9 on the year, which was tied for 119th. Cam Coleman, a freshman stud last season, 37 receptions, 598 yards, and 8 touchdowns. Look for more production. Veteran secondary. This is going to be a great matchup. Auburn's kicker was perfect in 2023, but had an illness that kept him out for most of last season. Baylor starts a freshman kicker and a very good punter in Palmer Williams. That'll be an interesting special teams to see who wins that battle. I think this will be close down the stretch. I have Baylor covering the +2.5 spread. I also have Baylor winning. Give me 31, Auburn 28. Next up, you know I had to do it. The Arizona Wildcats host Hawaii. Hawaii coming off a 23-20 victory over Stanford at home. Stanford went out to a 10-0 lead, and Hawaii came rolling back. But near the end of the game, their freshman quarterback, Alejado, was injured. So we have seen the line move from 13.5 to 17.5. Arizona, this is a must-win game. This and Weber State next week are must-win games for the Cats. They have to come out firing like they did against New Mexico State last year, or New Mexico actually. And I think Fafita with this new Seth Deggy offense, me and my dad did a preview of Arizona. You can check that out with the link above. I think they just have to come out firing. The defense just has to contain that explosive Hawaii offense that we saw last week in week 0. Arizona, I think they're going to take it. They have to take it. They have to take these next few weeks before that K-State game coming up shortly. Now, here is what everybody is looking forward to. It could have been the number 1 team in the nation versus the number 2, but Penn State slid in at that number 2 spot. It is Texas at Ohio State. We got Arch Manning. We got Julian Sayin. Who plays better? That's going to be decided. Jeremiah Smith, best player in the country. Carnell Tate. Max Clare out of Purdue. He was able to go to Ohio State, one of the best tight ends in the country. Texas is replacing 4 offensive linemen. Ohio State is replacing 4 defensive linemen. Ohio State had a record best 14 players selected to the NFL draft. Ohio State also has a new defensive coordinator in Matt Patricia. This is going to be close. 1.5 point spread. Texas is actually favored on the road. And I think it's just going to be Arch Manning. Is he going to be able to handle this pressure as the Heisman frontrunner, essentially, without really having too many games under his belt? Texas is having to replace a lot of people to the NFL as well. Anthony Hill Jr. and Caleb Downs on Texas and Ohio State side, respectively. How they play is really going to matter. I think Caleb Downs, if he's able to maybe get a turnover or 2 off of Arch Manning or cause some chaos in that secondary, I think that'll be a key. I've gone back and forth all week prepping for this game. I could see it going either way. I think it's going to be close, but I have Texas covering, or I have Ohio State – 'em, covering the 1.5, but they're going to pull it out in the end. I got Ohio State 31, Texas 30. It's going to be a close game. It's going to be the highlight of the weekend. There are 2 other top 10 matchups this weekend. 5 straight days of games. Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, and Monday night. Another game I think will be very exciting. How does Colorado look without their 2 star players in Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter? Georgia Tech is going to Boulder this weekend. Haynes King and that explosive Georgia Tech offense versus Colorado. How is Caden Salter going to be in this Colorado offense? We saw him at Liberty lighting it up for them. Give me Colorado covering the spread plus 4.5. I'm not sure they can win that one. I think Georgia Tech will pull it out, but Colorado does cover that 4.5. Now, as I mentioned, these 2 top 10 matchups, 3 including the Texas and Ohio State. Next up for the top 10 matchups, we have LSU visiting number 4 Clemson, number 9 versus number 4. If LSU does not win this game, this will be another Brian Kelly season opening loss. He has not won a season opener at LSU since he got that job. O-line questions. Will Campbell going to the NFL? How does Garrett Nussmeier stack up against Cade Klubnik? These are 2 of the best quarterbacks in the nation. LSU had a tough time running the ball last season, and Clemson's losses were mostly due to the fact that teams just ran right over them. I think it's going to be a very close game. I do like Clemson covering the 4.5, though. I have them pulling away in another season opening loss for Brian Kelly. I think Cade Klubnik, the great defensive line that Clemson has, Peter Woods and crew are just going to be too much for LSU to handle, especially on the road. Notre Dame, Miami, Catholics versus convicts. 6 Notre Dame, 10 Miami. Jeremiah Love, had an unbelievable run, taking them to the national championship on a bum knee. CJ Carr gets the start for Notre Dame, coming in favored on the road, 2.5. How does Carson Beck look in this Miami offense? Had a really good 2023 showing, but at Georgia, you had players like Brock Bowers, Ladd McConkey. And last season, Carson Beck just took a huge step back, being projected as even the first pick overall to things not going too well last season, and the stock has definitely dropped for Carson Beck. I think it'll just be too much to handle. Give me Notre Dame covering the 2.5 spread. First-year coach Bill Belichick, host TCU. This is giving me such Colorado 2023 vibes when they had the upset over TCU to start the season. Give me North Carolina covering that 3.5. You're going to have Bill Belichick's girl in the arena. She is going to be on camera as much as Taylor Swift. I see that one being a close game. Josh Hoover, TCU. The Big 12 is completely stacked. It's such a deep conference. It's going to be every single game with Big 12 teams is going to be special. This next one up, we got a Big 12 team and a Big 10 team. It used to be Pac-12 teams. We got Pac-12 After Dark essentially coming back with Utah playing UCLA in the Coliseum. UCLA comes in home underdogs. We see that a lot in this Week 1 slate. I have Utah pulling out the victory. Kyle Whittingham, this could be his last season potentially. Ia Maliava and crew for UCLA. I think they will cover the 5.5. I have this one being a close game. That kickoff is at 11 p.m. Eastern, so Pac-12 Dark never dies. Upset of the week for me to close us out. I don't see any crazy upsets in Week 1, but I have to go with Baylor over Auburn. When you have a SEC matchup versus Big 12, it's pretty much SEC all the way. But in that one, I have Baylor winning. Sawyer Robertson, I think, is going to have a great game. This has been the Rombough Show. We will have episodes dropping every week and have predictions come in pretty much every week. So tune in, like, subscribe, and we will catch you guys next week.